So hi, my name is Melissa Franco. I've been going to CityLight, so I want to say almost 2 years now, about 2 years. And I want to say in those 2 years, I've become more of a Christian than before. So I've been a Christian for about almost 2.5 now. I started at a young age being in the Catholic environment. My family really pushed church on me a lot. So I would always be every Sunday at Catholic church. And that's something that I didn't enjoy very much. I didn't like to be pushed onto something. So I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in Jesus a whole lot growing up. And as I got older, I realized I had an older brother, but he had passed away. So I questioned God a lot at that point. I said, why did you take him? Why did you leave my mom to suffer so much? Why am I suffering so much? So for a long, long time, I didn't like God. I questioned everything about him. I always said, you're not real. You hate me. You don't love us, for the longest time. Over the years, I unfortunately got diagnosed with renal failure, stage 1, and it progressively ended up being to me going on dialysis about 5 years after an original diagnosis. And that's when I really, really said, I need to stop this fight. I need to stop fighting with God and let him do what he needs to do. And the real test was April 6, 2018. When I went into cardiac arrest after treatment and I was declared deceased for 1 minute and 13 seconds. The doctor said, your heart stopped, you were dead. But somehow you started back up. And the only way the doctor said that could happen is by a godly miracle. After that, I said, I need to be reborn. I need to come back and accept him as my savior. And it took me years. I was so scared that I couldn't fully commit to him and be honest and truthful. So it was a couple years before I finally felt comfortable, which is when I found CityLight. Just the environment, the message we would see at church and service made me feel hugged by God, and it felt comfortable. So I think after almost a year coming to CityLight, I told Josh, I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to get baptized. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to be reborn and give my life to Jesus Christ. And the day that I said yes and the day I got baptized was the day I became alive. It was the day that I felt Jesus and the Spirit. And I was so thankful for him and everything he's done and thankful that he forgave me for all of my sins prior to. And the weirdest thing that I felt that day was I have one more challenge. And a couple months later is when I was in my coma due to COVID. After COVID, I got complications of pneumonia. So my pneumonia developed into pulmonary hemorrhage, also known as alveolar virus, which led to me having to be rushed to the emergency room. And what happened was I couldn't breathe. My oxygen levels were down to 80%. I was so hypoxic that I kept passing out and I did not realize it. I remember the doctor saying, you need emergency transfusions. He's like, we're gonna get you 4 units of blood and we're gonna get you to the ICU. Next thing I know, I wake up in the ICU and they tell me, your lungs are full of blood. We need to clear them out. So they had me sign for a procedure. And I said, okay, procedure's only a couple hours. You'll be asleep the whole time, and the next day you'll be up and about. That was not the case. They said as soon as they went inside to clear out the lungs, there was a lot more blood than they expected, and my body started desaturating during the procedure, which means my oxygen levels were dropping, which means my heart was about to stop because I don't have enough. So they had to put me in a coma to be able to preserve as much as they could. What I didn't realize is that coma was going to be more than just a day. It lasted, I think, 6 days. But during that time I was in my coma, I had the most strangest experience. During my time I was in the coma, there was an angel that reached out to me. And he put out his hand and he said, let's go. I'm going to help you get better. And we started walking the path and I could see we were up in the clouds. It was a really beautiful place. And all I could see was a silhouette, but that silhouette looked of what Jesus looks to me. And he said, don't go. It's not your time. You need to come with me. So I went with him, And when I touched his hand, the next thing I saw was my mother and my father crying because I had just woken up a week later from the coma. And that, when I realized, oh my God, I almost left this world, but Jesus said, no, I'm going to take you home. And I remember I woke up and I cried. All I did was cry because I was on the ground and God said, nope, you're not done on this earth. And I tell people, he's real. He's real. You may not feel him right then and there, but he is real. And I'd love to tell people that you're not a believer, but I hope you never have to go through something to believe in him, but he is there with you every step of the way. And I'm thankful that he allowed me to be reborn and be a child of his and be able to share my story and everything to inspire others.